We made our first trip to Hungary to spread the gospel in Eastern Europe. So that summer, I was thinking of my training that described three types of biblical faith. The first type is that you believe God can do anything. Yeah, that's right, I do believe that. The second type of faith is where you believe God can do anything and you want Him to do something particular. All right, so I was thinking about this country of Hungary, and I thought, yep, I believe God can do anything, and I want Him to give everyone in Hungary an opportunity to hear the gospel. And then he said the third type of faith is where you believe God can do anything, you want Him to do something in particular, and then you believe He will do it. And I sort of smiled, and I thought, no, yeah, that's nice, but that would really take a lot of faith. It was still communist. It was 1985. But in this quiet time, it probably was seconds, but I believed that God would give everyone in Hungary an opportunity to respond to the gospel. It was a second or two, and then I doubted again. But then this thought came into my mind. The thought was, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, be picked up and cast into the sea, and it will be done. And I thought, wow, I wonder if that little bit of faith I had was a mustard seed. And then the next thought that came into my mind was, gee, if that's a mustard seed of faith, then I should look for ways to figure out how could we minister in Eastern Europe. So in the early 80s, we heard that the Jesus film was going to be made available in different languages. And we received a copy of the film that was lip-synced into Hungarian, and we showed them this film in their language. And it was just like the showings you'd see in Africa. You had the screen up and you had people sitting on both sides of the screen watching the image of the Gospel of Luke. And there was weeping and crying as they saw this film representing a heritage that's so precious to this country, this Christian heritage that had been denied them access to. And for years I worked with that film. And I think there were millions of Hungarians who saw the gospel through that film. In the communist era, the last part of the 1980s, and I saw these friends of ours, they understood the gospel so clearly. And I remember going home thinking, this is really special. I get to be here when this is going on in this country. And it was overwhelming to think that right now, the God of the universe is directing my life. This moment, I know He's directing my life. And it was just like the whole country was open for the Lord and what He had for them. And I stood there with all those Hungarians, and my mind went back to that little moment where I had that mustard seed of faith question mark in my mind. And as I would go along, I would think back and say, I wonder if this is part of that mustard seed idea. I wonder if that was a mustard seed of faith, as more and more things would happen. And I'm amazed at how much more God can do than what I was originally thinking. You don't have to have a lot of faith to get started, but you just take the little bit of faith that you have and move in a particular direction, and God will show you and open up many other opportunities for you.